online.
Bill, can you hear us?
Bill, can you hear us?
That's some dangerous driving.
You hear me?
Yay!
Hello,
Bill.
to be on the
Hello.
right-hand side of the road.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Excellent.
We are working in both directions. We don't have video?
We do.
Yes,
Oh, we do have video.
Just give me a
We can
second.
even have video. Perfect.
Aha.
Wonderful.
Let me get his name up there.
Hi, Bill.
Hi guys, how are you?
So I'm not this Bill's mom.
A little tired, but
I'll
that's
bet.
okay. Thank you very much for calling in.
My pleasure.
So, for those poor deluded fools who don't know who you are, can you please tell the feed who you are?
Why would I want to talk to poor deluded fools? My name is Bill Corbett, Deluded Fools, and I am with Rifftrax.com. I'm one of the three guys who is the main wise asses, I guess we should say, and used to also be on Mystery Science Theater 3000, writing and being the voice of Crow for the latter part of its run.
Excellent.
That's all I got, Deluded Fools.
That should be enough for anybody. All right. Well, we've got a whole bunch of questions. We put a blog post up on our blog and asked people to if they had any questions for you, because it's kind of a unique opportunity. So yeah, we can kind of dive right in here if you don't mind.
By all means.
Somebody's asking about that Mystery Science Theater. The point was to make fun of bad movies, but which would you say was the worst or the least worst?
The least worst.
And why?
That's a tough one. I think there were two that were not particularly popular that I had a certain fondness for during the time that I was a writer, and one was a German television production of Hamlet. We actually decided to riff Hamlet, and in retrospect, it might not have been the best idea. We were just kind of thinking, hey, it would be fun, since we have this opportunity and this, we can get this material to do, theoretically the best thing ever written. We will riff it. But, it might have been just a little too much like a filmed theater thing and a little bit visually dull, even given our usual stuff. But still, it was a little better than Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Was it actually in German?
No, and I actually was dubbed somehow into English. I actually think the actors, if I recall correctly, did like an English version. And one of the actors was Maximilian Schell. I don't know if you know him. But yeah, they seemed to be talking in somewhat accented English, which made it all the goofier, of course. But they did the whole play. And the other thing was, it was a PBS, it was originally a PBS play starring Raul Julia, a very fine actor who was in a lot of great stuff over the years and a lot of not so great stuff. This is one of those not so great moments. And it was called, oh boy, some Misty's going to have to help me here, something about memory. But basically he played a guy who, in some futuristic time, worked in a thing where you could, have an out-of-body experience into either a person or a story or an animal. And Raul Julia at that time had passed away, and he was a great actor and by all accounts a great guy. So I felt a little empathy for him being in this thing and really tried to steer it away from making too much fun of him, even though it was really pretty dopey movie. So I probably didn't answer your question at all. Sorry.
That's fine.
We have on Riff movies that we all quite like Jaws, and we once gave ourselves a Rifftrax challenge, which was to do a movie that we all thought was good and that everybody thinks and acknowledges is good, which is Casablanca. Nice. And we were pretty happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, as long as something takes itself seriously, you can still make fun of something, even if it's good. You know, you can still.
Yeah, and you know, like the hardest things for us to do, we've found out, are comedies. Even if they're really lame-o comedies, you wind up saying a variation of, you know, oh, that joke sucked over again, which is just not very funny in itself.
Right. Now, before we get actually too much further, the chat is telling me to ask this, and this is important. We have a challenge going right now where anybody who calls in, we are getting what we're calling $6 secrets from them. We are asking people if they could tell us something that other people might not know, either about them or about the work that they do, so that we can add it to our book here. And somebody is paying us $6 for every one that we can collect. So we're hoping that we can get a whole bunch here.
So these would be secrets about me?
They could be, or secrets about
Your industry?
Your industry, or Rifftrax, or Mystery Science Theater, or about Mike, or you can tell secrets about other people if you want.
I would have brought my blackmail binder if I had known. So, what would you like me to do?
Whatever's best for you. Whatever works. If you can think of something.
Do you want me to tell a secret about something, or wait for somebody to pay for it, I guess is what I'm asking?
No, just the payment will come at the end. We're collecting a big binder full of them, a big book full of them here. So if you tell us a secret, we'll write it down, and then we're making a big list of all the different people who have called in and talked to us. So
okay.
So lay it on us.
All right, here's one. I don't know if it's a real secret, but it's a point of interest to Mystery Science Theater fans that what you saw happening there with the silhouette in front of the movie was mostly live. I mean, it was just us in front of a little tiny television in front of us, and then a green screen in front of that. And most of it was live and done continuously. But every now and then, one of us messed up a line, or we would listen to it later on, and not a very good joke. What do you know about that? So we would do ADR afterwards and replace them. And the only time that would really show up, if you look closely, is the puppet I had, Crow, because his beak would sometimes go out of sync with what was going on. So every now and then you see him turn and sort of flap his beak silently. And that was a joke we either replaced or I messed up.
That's cool.
Is that what you had in mind?
Yeah, that's really good.
It's not a very dark, deep secret. It's not like, you know, we have a crazy aunt in the attic sort of secret.
I remember.
Although we do.
I remember finding out a little while ago, or I remember that, like, I was just looking at some sort of behind the scenes stuff for Mystery Science Theater and realizing that, of course, Tom Servo in the actual theater is a different Tom Servo. It's with a blacked out ball, a blacked out gumball machine at the top, which of course makes perfect sense when you think about it, because otherwise you'd have to look through him to see the screen. But you don't think about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Crow that I used, which actually in the theater, which actually appeared in one of the shows before I got there, I think he was an all-black crow as well. He was called Timmy.
Oh, right, because then you actually used him as like the evil guy, the evil crow that showed up at one point, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Somebody's asking, now you're doing the Rifftrax stuff. What are the advantages of Rifftrax over Mystery Science Theater? I mean, I guess you can do more different kinds of movies, but do you
that's kind of how it started out. We knew we couldn't just bring back the show, but we still liked doing this. We had a brief project called the Film Crew that got all messed up because of rights and companies and evil corporate America, man. So we decided that we would try something that people had been asking for a while, which is to do more contemporary movies and stuff that, you know, just got out of theaters. Because we used to do these things for Mystery Science Theater where we would do like a summer blockbuster special, or an Oscar special where we would take the electronic press kits from what the studios put out, and we would riff like just little bits of them.
Okay.
And it had to be kind of just the excerpts that they gave out, which was fun but frustrating at times because we wanted to do a little more. I remember we did a little bit of Titanic, the movie, when it was up for an Oscar, and people were saying, "You got to do Titanic." Our answer to that, of course, was we can't get the rights to it. We can get the rights to all kinds of crap, but we can't get the rights to Titanic. But if we did it, you know, when we started Rifftrax, the idea was, well, if we just do an MP3 commentary and people kind of roll their own commentary with the movie, rent it themselves, that'll work out. And so we still do a lot of that, but we've added a lot of old video on demand movies just so people don't always have to do it themselves. And a lot of those old educational shorts too that are great fun. Some of my favorite things.
You find the freedom of working just straight online is much more conducive to the whole riffing thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, as much fun as the show was, and it was great fun, it is really hard to get something past the gatekeepers in Hollywood, and it was just almost like magic and a bunch of coincidental things that Mystery Science Theater existed at all. It happened to be at a time when cable needed a lot of material, cable TV. A lot of companies were merging, and a lot of them needed to fill hours, and the show was 2 hours long, so that took a good chunk, and it was a good show, so that helped too. It got a quick cult following. And also, in the 90s, the internet was starting to live, and a very online community, like very dedicated Usenet group and all that. So they were talking to each other, so they could apply a little pressure quicker than, you know, your average letter writing base, you know, analog letter writers. So it was pretty cool that, you know, that we grew up with the internet, but in a way it's the kind of show that would probably not have happened if those whole bunch of things weren't coming together at once. So we feel kind of at home online. We don't have to really, this sounds very, you know, sort of spoiled brat-like, but we don't have to answer to anybody. Because when we did get notes for the show in some of the later years, when we had been doing it for a while, especially the guys who'd been there longer than I had, and then suddenly we were getting notes from some guy, like, seriously, we need writing notes from you, 20-year-old in Hollywood. So it's really good to not have to do that.
Yeah. I mean, we're, you know, obviously very much in favor of the whole online thing ourselves. So.
Yes, and it's all coming together anyway eventually, so we like that.
Exactly.
The singularity approaches, guys.
Somebody asks, do you miss being a robot? Or do you prefer the non-visual style of Rifftrax?
I am, in fact, a robot. I just had a puppet.
Right, of course, that wasn't a robot. That was a puppet.
Yeah, I do. I mean, advice about the show. It was really, really fun. I mean, I can take almost zero credit for inventing it, but I did hopefully not ruin it. But it was always a good show. I mean, it had great writing. The visual element was simple and fun, and those characters are, you know, they're just like eternally great characters, Crow and Servo, and the human meat puppet in between them, whether it's Joel or Mike. It was a brilliant idea, and it was an honor to be part of it. And I do miss things like the little skits we did between them. They were fun to write because I started out more as a playwright in theater and, you know, a skit writer and sketch writer. So I really liked those moments, for better or worse. And they were fun characters to work with because they could just kind of like kill each other and blow up. And they were more like cartoon characters than anything, you know, have total personality resets at any given moment. And it was okay because they were robots.
Did you actually have any puppetry experience before you did Mr. Sands Theater, or was it just a question of you're the guy who does the voice, get in there?
It was exactly the latter. I had no puppeteering experience at all, and yeah, and we did it very quickly, like right up into the last minute. We knew that Trace was moving on, the original Crow, Trace Ballou, and I'm not making this up. I don't think I am. We were considering the idea. I was a writer with the show at the time, considering the idea of, well, should we get another puppet, to replace Crow? I mean, it would be a shame, but that's kind of, he's kind of iconic. And I think wisely at the last minute they decided, no, the character has got to stay. We just have to find some other poor schmuck to fill those great footsteps. And that was pretty late in the game. I think I was given the puppet for the first. I auditioned. I was already working there as a writer, but they said, will you audition with all these actors we're calling in? And so I did. I thought I did an awful job, but there you go. I mean, I could see it in the monitor that, the voice was not syncing it up at all with the beak, and it looked appalling to me. But I guess they were grading on a big curve, which was awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, like they told me they made their decision, and I was pleased and shocked. But basically, they said, "Here's the puppet. It's Friday. Monday, we're starting to shoot." So for the first couple of shows I was on, Crow really looks pretty bad. He was a tough puppet to get used to because he was very top heavy and had a lot of moving parts, some of which you couldn't really control. His eyeballs fell out a lot. His beak would sometimes go slack jaw, but he had a lot of personality. It was worth it.
Lots of people congratulating or being very happy with some of the Rifftrax one. Somebody is saying that the slow Birdemic song from the Birdemic riff has been stuck in their head for a very long time.
I am deeply sorry to that person. That could drive someone crazy.
And somebody's also congratulating you on the show tunes medley from the High School Musical Rifftrax. Apparently they laughed so hard that milk squirted out their nose.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
Success! That is our benchmark for success. Dairy products coming out of your nostrils.
Damaging things in front of you.
Damaging everything, yes, including your personal dignity.
Are there any movies that you could just watch over and over again and never get tired of? Riffing or not?
Well, of the ones we've done, I actually am pretty fond of Birdemic these days. We just did it for a nationwide show in movie theaters, and unlike some other ones we do a lot, I just get a giggle out of that one every time because it's so weird. It's so arrhythmic. It makes no sense at all.
I heard they've gone back to the original guy.
Sorry, go ahead.
Trying to get him to make a sequel to it because it's been so successful on the ridiculous.
Oh, they are making a sequel. That is well in the works. In fact, I think it's actually in post-production right now. It's one of those weird things where something is really, really a terrible movie, just sort of objectively terrible, but it's so much fun to watch, like The Room or Birdemic, that, it becomes a cult hit. And so the people who made it actually make money from their shitty movie making.
But, can
and so
you ever
the idea of a
recapture
sequel is like, oh, why not? We can strike gold again.
Nice. Now, I hear you've got to run to catch a boat.
I do. I literally have to catch a boat. I'm in Florida with my family on vacation. We're about to go see whales and dolphins and who knows what else.
Oh, well, thank you very much for taking time out of your vacation to talk to us. That's super.
Oh, my pleasure,
super
you
cool.
guys. You have a great cause here, and I'm just pleased to take part in it anyway. And I hope you're having a lot of caffeine and energy drinks.
So much.
And somebody, maybe to end with somebody asking, could you give a good Norman
Normal view.
A good Norman. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling a little too happy right now. I just have to and real horrible and despairing for a second. Okay, here we go. Norman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Mel.
Thank
You're
you.
awesome.
Pleasure talking to you.
All right.
Thanks. Have
Great.
fun.
Thanks a lot.
Bye
Bill.
bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Happy
American
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
I should call my family at some point.
American Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving.
Oh wait, am I missing Thanksgiving? Oh,
I think
right.
you may be.
I kind of forgot about that holiday.
All right. Well, that was the amazing Bill Corbett. So thank you very much to him for calling in on his vacation. I didn't even realize it was
From Florida.
from Florida.
Yeah, that's why he was kind of a last minute ad, as he had to work
Florida.
in his
Yeah, yeah.
vacation schedule with his family. It was very cool that he called in.
Hey, the internet, it's awesome. People can connect from all different places. We indeed get Thanksgiving in Canada, but we have
Earlier.
it in October when you actually gather crops.